Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting video. Today we're taking a look at the 3 ships and what you voted on. Did you vote on number 1, number 2, or number 3 to have the best performance? Let's go ahead and test them, and then we'll see what the poll results were. Alright, we're spawning in, I think we're spawning in 15 of the original tankers. So tanker number 3, which is what you guys were voting on, number 1, 2, or 3. And they are still spawning in here. Look at those guys go. Is that it? Oh, nope, there's more. Another row. There they go. Go, 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 go. And so this is the hull with the cube, wedge cube kind of design, and it even has paint on it. So I wouldn't expect this one to win, but let's go ahead and take a look at the physics. So starting off, we have game FPS of 60. That's the game rendering. We have 61 logic, 61 physics, and 61 ocean. So not bad at all, considering there's 15 of these. Can we see them? They're there. Look at that. Okay. We may have to spawn more of these. You know what? I think I'm going to do that because I feel like we're not seeing a big impact. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. We're spawning 20 of these in. That way we can see what really is the difference between each hull, hopefully. If they're all terrible or all great, then my test is going to be pretty bad. So there's roll number 2 coming in. Roll number 3 coming in. And finally, roll number 4. We'll wait for the messages to go away and see what we get. Wait a second. And there we go. So 20 of these bad boys. We have 48 frames per second on the game, which isn't bad considering. We have 43 logic, 43 physics, and 43 ocean FPS. So if we look at these guys, there are 20 ships out there. So there we go. So that's hole number 3. If you voted for hole number 3, that is the stats. All right, let's do it again. All right, coming in right now is what I'm trying to call my poor attempt at a smooth hole. So again, not a great hole builder. Just started building ships actually this year. So don't judge me too harshly. It is a terrible hole. But we're going to spawn 20 of these, and we're going to see how it performs compared to my original hole, which was cube, wedge, cube, basically, with slices. So there we go. It's going to spawn 20 of these in. We'll check the stats and wait for these lovely messages to disappear. Feel free to disappear any day now. There you go. Okay, let's get them all into view. Make sure it's rendering them. And go ahead and get some stats. All right, so this one is 46 FPS. Logic, 25. Physics, 25. Ocean, 25. It dropped. It dropped quite a bit. It dropped from 48 game FPS and from 43 logic FPS to 46 and 25. Crazy. So this was hole number 2. So we did hole number 3 first. We're doing hole number 2. And now we're going to do hole number 1. I don't know why I did backwards, but whatever. All right, so hole number 1 is loading in, and this is what we call the sliced hole, which is basically wedges that try to make the shape of the hole. You can see it over there. And this is basically my original hole, just modified to remove the cubes on the edges. And they are spawning in 20 of these, and we'll see what kind of FPS we get and physics FPS. So we're waiting for the messages. Feel free, guys, take your time to spawn in. Remember, this is not really a scientific test because I have no idea how to build holes. So I just did 3 tests, and I tried to do 3 different holes. There are tricks. People say, oh, build an internal hole and make a double hole. And, oh, you know, if you use wedges this way or that way, it'll make it all better, blah, 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 yada, yada, whatever. So this is not scientific. I just did it real quick to try to see what I could do with just changing it up a little bit and optimizing it. Of course, they were all physics flooded, all different versions. And so let's take a look at the final hole and see how it did. Okay, we're going to put them back up here so we can see all of them, make sure they're all rendering. And let's do it. All right, so let's just look at them all again before we see what the final one was. We had the first one running the game at 48 frames per second with a logic of 43, and Physics 43, and Ocean 43. Pretty good. That was hole number 3 in my original build. Hole number 2, which is supposed to be the smooth hole, was running at 46 frames per second for the game, and 25 frames per second for Logic, Physics, and Ocean. Alright, and that was hole number 2. Alright, and hole number 1, which was the sliced hole with wedges, was running 44 FPS for the game, and Logic 41, Physics 41, and Ocean 41. That was hole number 1. So it looks like the original hole was better. Could that be? I'm gonna restart the game and reload hole number 2 again, because it seems really low. And sometimes if you do the mission spawner, it will eventually have like a memory leak or something, and then the performance goes down the drain. So let's try restarting and doing hole number 2 again, just to give it a fair chance. All right, we're loading in hole number 2, which is supposed to be the smooth hole. So we'll see. We'll give it another chance, just because Stormworks is a little weird sometimes with the mission editor, and I want to make sure that it wasn't a memory leak problem, and that I just make really bad smooth holes. So again, if you're saying that this one should probably be the best one, and you were surprised that it's not, remember who built it. So don't blame the hole, blame the builder. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one more time and see what kind of frame rate we get. All right, after reloading, we get an FPS of 45 for the game, and still 22 frames per second. Wow. Okay. All right, so I don't know why this worked out the way it did, but hole number 3, which was my original hole with paint on it, and cubes and wedges, barely beat out, just barely, beat out the slices with all wedges, and they both completely beat out me trying to make a smooth hole. So, yeah, again, you awesome builders that know how to build holes, yeah, just leave some comments below about what you think I did wrong, why you think that the supposed smooth hole did a lot worse than slices. So let's wrap up this video with what the poll results were. What did you guys think was going to be the best hole? So we had 3 choices. We had number 1, which was trying to wedge the slices. We had number 2, which was my attempt at the smooth hole. And we had number 3, which was wedge, cube, wedge, the original hole. So the numbers for the poll are 16% of you said number 1 was going to be awesome. 73% of you thought number 2, this poorly smoothed hole by Endo, was going to be the best hole. What? And of course, number 3, the sliced cubes with wedges, the original hole, was at 11%. So 16%, 11%, and 73% of the votes thought it was going to be the smooth hole. Now that either means that I did a really bad job at the smooth hole, or smooth holes aren't good. Oh, by the way, it's also worth noting that these ships did not contain pivots, so if you're wondering how I got to spawn all these, they don't have pivots. So, there you go. But anyways, that is it for today. Hopefully this was a fun video. Wasn't really a controlled experiment, but you know what? It gave me an idea of what kind of hole to build. I kind of always like the slices, but, you know, who knows? Maybe we can get one of the JSI guys that build really smooth holes to go ahead and do a test with a smooth hole and a sliced hole. So that is a challenge for you JSI guys. If you're watching, let me know on Discord if you have a hole that we can test. All right, that's it. See you next time.